Hello, everyone. Hello. I am having some technical difficulties today. I cannot see myself or you or my screen. So we're just going to go ahead and get into it. If you can hear me, please type something in the chat box to let me know that you're here with me and I'm not here alone. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're here. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much to our viewer to let me know that you are here. As I said, I'm not quite sure what's going on with my camera today, but this is a hot, juicy topic. And can you see my screen? Let me know if you can see my screen. And if you can see my screen, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. All right. It says that I'm sharing. I pray that you can see what I'm seeing. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and get started with our famous quote. Making mistakes is an inevitable part of the human experience. We all make them. It's how you learn and grow from those mistakes that matter. Author unknown. Well, let's talk about why we picked this quote. Well, I don't know about you, but the hot topic that's trending right now is this gentleman who is a teacher, I believe at a middle school, and he went live by allowing, and when he went live, he let students take down his braids in preparation for his hair appointment. And I did watch the video that had his voiceover talking about how he allowed students at the end of the class period, the last 10 minutes of the class period, to have some free time because they had just finished presenting some material and he wanted them to be able to have some downtime. He also talked about it in the video, and this is from his words, so this is not from any other source. This is him. He also talked about how important it is to build relationship with his students and how he gave students in other classes passes to come and help take down his braids. He called them, he says he has over 100 besties, which he's referring to the students. And this is something in the norm that he does to help bring awareness to students, show some connectivity to the students, and all the things. So I want you to pause and think about really quickly if you were the administrator. Oh, let me go back because I don't know if I said that he did this all while live streaming. Okay, let's just go on and put that out there. So I want you to put yourself in the role of the administrator. You walk into this classroom and you see this going on. In fact, you get a notification because secretly you follow this teacher on his social media platforms and you notice that he goes live. What is your first reaction? Go ahead and drop it in the chat box and let me know. You walk into the classroom, you see this going on. What would you do? What would you do? Because I want to know what you would do before I share what I would do. Well, I do want to remind you as you're thinking about how you would approach that as the leader, you set the tone for your organization, for your building. Absolutely. I would be in shock as well. You set the tone. And for tone, we talk about being transparent, open, nurturing collaboration or nurturing in this case, and engagement. And for our session today, we're not going to lean into engagement. We're going to lean into empathy. So before we even go into these quick nuggets, I am nosy. I said it. I'm nosy. And I went ahead and just watched a few more videos on this young man's social media platform. I also watched some commentary from other folks just to kind of round out this picture before I started down the judgment trail, like many of us have gone down. Teacher, leader, whoever you are, let's be truthful here. We all have made our own set of judgments as it relates to this particular case. Some good, some bad, some ugly, some indifferent, but everybody has formed their own judgments on what this means to them. And so I would ask for you to put on an action hat at this point and not necessarily a judgment hat. One of the things when we talk about transparency is reflect on, as a leader, have you been clear in the expectations and boundaries that you've set regarding professional conduct? This includes, of course, social media use, and making sure that you're communicating this clearly to all members of the team. Also, as a leader, I want you to reflect. Have you communicated the disciplinary process and potential consequences for inappropriate behavior to ensure that everybody is on the same page? Remember, crystal clear and transparency is number one. When we talk about openness, I want you to reflect on, have you had an opportunity to have an open dialogue, gathering feedback from the students, from the parents, and the staff members to make sure that they're all clear on and get their perspective of the concerns regarding the incident? And always making sure, when we talk about openness, making sure we have an open door policy for employees to ensure that they're seeking guidance, support, and resources for further training to make sure that everybody, again, is on the same page. One of the things that I noticed in one of his consequent or subsequent videos was how he talked about how his students were begging for him to come back and how they felt like he was, I assume, I heard and I saw that he was fired. I cannot confirm nor deny that, but I know this young man was on a video talking about how he how his teachers, how his fellow colleagues and students and parents were writing to him. He talked about how much his admin admired him, and how the students admired him, and how the teachers admired him. So with that being said, it would be great. It would behoove us as leaders to get the full picture. I know what we all saw on the social media platform, but let's make sure that we put that into context by being open and gathering that information through open dialogue. The next thing we want to do is nurture. Okay. So we want to reflect, have we provided opportunities to nurture this teacher? Have we offered counseling? Have we offered mentorship? And again, have we offered other opportunities for professional growth and development to address this area of improvement? Obviously, we have a concern. There is a concern. Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. Any way you slice it, dice it, there is a concern. It is not appropriate. I will go on record and say that this was not appropriate behavior at all. But does the teacher know that? I don't know 100% if a lot of the things that he's doing is appropriate from other videos that I watched. So this would be a great opportunity to ensure that this employee is very familiar with appropriateness and what's acceptable behavior. But while we're nurturing and providing this counseling and mentorship, we should also provide a supportive environment where he can feel comfortable coming to leadership, as well as other staff members. If they find themselves in a pickle, they feel comfortable to come and ask questions, ask for guidance, seek for clarification, so that we can prevent future incidents while promoting professional and personal growth. And lastly, like I said, we're going to look at empathy today instead of engagement. We have to understand that everybody is at different levels. Now, as I mentioned before, looking at his social media track record, I noticed that there are a lot of missed opportunities. And so I noticed a pattern, if you will. And so I was talking to my daughter about her take on this, and she shared with me that lots of teachers are making social media content that's kind of like, thought provoking, a little edgy. Folks do things to get likes and views and all of that. I'm here for it all, right? I'm trying to get likes and views. Let's be very clear. My social media content is informative, but it's also entertaining. Okay, I'm here for it all. But was this an appropriate time to do that? Was having students' faces? I don't know. Did they sign a agreement to be on social media? Like, there's just so many questions that I have. But instead of just coming at this professional, because he is a professional, I would look at ways of administering disciplinary processes through empathy. So we call this progressive discipline, right? So I would definitely want to understand the individual circumstances and context. We saw what we saw. We can't unsee what we saw, but we don't know all the other pieces. And like I said at the beginning, I am nosy, y'all. I'm nosy. I did do some research. I did do some looking at other video content. And there's a lot of things that I'm like, a little questionable, very questionable. But has this been done before in the past? What disciplinary actions have been taken? What kind of, and before we even get to the disciplinary part, what kind of counseling or mentorship has been provided to this employee? Again, it's my understanding that he did get fired, but we all jump to conclusions like, oh, he shouldn't be fired, but maybe that was the next and last step in that progressive discipline process. We don't know. But the truth of the matter is, in any situation, as a leader, you have to remember that you set the tone, right? And by setting the tone, it is imperative that we are open, that we are nurturing, and in this case, that we show empathy. And so, if yeah, child, this video is, like I said, hot topic. But as a leader, you walk in the room, you have to make decisions. You can't rely on social media to help you make those decisions or anything. You have to remember that you're in charge of this building, and you, as a leader, have to answer to all of the stakeholders, the students, the parents, the teacher, the community. You have to be accountable for all your decisions. So please, when making decisions, remember the tone framework so that you can show that cooler heads prevail and you had a rhyme or reason to how you did what you did. And most importantly, you had some documentation. Okay? Make sure you have that documentation. So, if you want to learn more about how to utilize the tone framework as a leader, don't hesitate to reach out and book a strategy session. And you can do that by, oh, I had it all together for you. You can do that by accessing this Calendly link here on the screen. I did have it in the chat box before my live went awry, but I will type it in there for you. And while you're waiting on that, follow us and a spectator. Make sure you are a participator on, which is Facebook, Instagram, X. And if you couldn't catch all of that, or you weren't able to catch the Calendly link, you can activate all of that by scanning the QR code on your screen. Listen, if there are any topics that you want us to discuss here on Wisdom Wednesday, don't be shy. Let us know. Drop it in the comments. Drop it on our social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time on this juicy Wisdom Wednesday. We'll chat soon. Until next time, guys. Bye.